Hi students, I am Prakash, Chartered Accountant and acting as academic advisor in Masterminds from the past 20 years. Here is a short video introducing matchless Masterminds briefly for the convenience of the students who came to this channel for the first time. Masterminds was established in the year 2002 and has been acting as a reliable platform to offer coaching for CA and CMA courses. Masterminds is undeniably the pioneer and the leader in MEC, CEC, CA and CMA courses with nearly 20,000 admissions per annum. This is an incredible initiative by three edupreneurs, namely Mohan, Radha and Prakash, that is me. All three qualified CA at a very young age of 21 years and started this organization under the mentorship of my father, Mr. M. Siv Prasad Garu. So Mr. Mohan is my brother and Radha is my sister-in-law. And by the way, it's me, Prakash, Chartered Accountant. So here are the courses for which we offer the coaching. We offer coaching for MEC, CEC groups exclusively at intermediate level. And we also offer integrated coaching for MEC along with CA-CMA Foundation. And we also take exclusive admissions for CA-CMA Foundation or CA-CMA Inter. And we also offer coaching for CA-CMA final level as well. Recently, we have started a unique academic program at intermediate level, that is MEC Pro, aiming for the students who want to pursue BBA or MBA or CLAT courses in future rather than CA or CMA, and we have received a huge applause for the same. So 20 years of experience, and we have finished more than 155 batches of CA or CMA Inter in Guntur alone and similar number of batches in all our branches together. So till now completed 17 batches of CMA Inter and 18th batch is going on. Successfully completed 25 batches of CA final till now and 26th batch is running now, and we have also successfully completed 4 CA or CMA final batches in Hyderabad. So till now our students are able to achieve 990 All India ranks at various levels of CA-CMA courses, and our students are able to achieve first rank for 48 times in various courses for which we offer coaching. So in a single year our students are able to achieve 3 All India first ranks in the year 2020, and till now our students are able to achieve state first rank at MEC intermediate level for 18 times, that too 8 times in a row. In a single attempt, our students are able to grab 98 All India ranks at CMA Inter and final results of January 2021 and our All India ranks in February 2022 CA results. And here are the 10 All India ranks in CA final results of 2021 alone. And till now our students are able to secure 93 All India ranks at IPCCR CA Inter level in the last 9 years. And here is our physical presence: Guntur, Vijayawada, Hyderabad, Amirpet, Dilshuk Nagar, Vizag, Tirupati, Kurnool and Rajahmundry. And here are the locations where we have branches, and here are the contact numbers. Here is the list of our physical presence and here is the list of our online presence. And for your kind information, we don't have branches in any other locations other than stated here. So please do install our Android app Masterminds Online Classes from Google Play Store, and if you belong to iOS platform, then install an app called Class Plus from Apple Store and enter the organization code as MZGUN. In this app, you can find a large number of useful content like regular batch videos, crash batch videos, rapid revision batches, guidance classes, motivational videos, amendment videos, Masterminds test series, whatnot. Large amount of useful content is already available in the app. In our app, you can find a section called study material where large amount of free content is also available, and till now more than 24,000 students have already downloaded our app and we are nearing to 25,000. Sir, is it possible to interact with the directors directly? Yes. If it is an administrative issue, you need to contact Mr. Mohan sir on this mail ID. If it is academic issue, you need to contact me on this mail ID. So thanks to all our students who are our true brand ambassadors and who helped us to reach this position. All the best.
Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing fine and hope the preparation for your examination is going well. Today I am here with you people to give you a brief explanation of the RTP of 2022. That too with respect to I will be taking care of strategic management. We will try to have a brief analysis of your RTP for the subject of strategic management. So we will try to analyze this particular RTP and we will understand what kind of questions have been asked, in what way they have been asked, from which areas of strategic management they have been asked, and how well and what way that we have to follow to find the answers for these questions. Let's try to understand the questions and in a way that it can be answered. So to begin with, we all know that our board have introduced case study based questions even for the MCQs also. So we are going to start with multiple choice questions where the first question has been given with respect to a case study. It's very important to understand the case study first. With respect to what has been asked in the case study, once we have full-fledged idea of the things that are happening in the case study, then it will help us to find out the answers for the MCQs. So let's understand the case study first. Since its inception in 1910, the family business of Indian ethnic wear firm, which is nothing but Shanti Prasad and Sons, run by Mr. Mukesh Gupta and his three sons, has been major transformation in supply chain, product development and management. The inheritance over generations hasn't been easy. It was subject to family brawls, but the company stood strong to the core principles. So here a company which has been owned and which has been run from a long time, that they are in the ethnic wear firm. As you can see here, their business is in ethnic wear firm. When we understand the concepts, it's very important to know what kind of business that they are into. So it's an ethnic wear firm. Continuation. Since 2011, major foreign brands have been eyeing the segment with the world-class designers opening up their boutiques in plush areas around the country. JJM, a French design house, recently branded its Indian wear with leading film personalities to attract masses. This damaged existing supply chain, attracted new age buyers and has been profitable from very beginning. So the second paragraph talks that some major new players are entering into the market, international players are entering into the market, they are changing the entire supply chain, they are hiring some celebrities to endorse those products. So this is the second paragraph of the case study trying to convey. Now, three sons reach out for you for management consultancy. Obviously, those three sons have come to a management consultant to help them to meet the competition, if not beat it. You study the business insights and came out with three options. So you being a strategic manager, they have come to you and they have explained to you the situation. After understanding the situation carefully, you came up with three solutions for them. The solutions are: first, to exit Indian market and start exporting their designs to European markets. This will ensure bigger revenue and forex gains, and also the distribution chain were well built there. So the first conclusion that you have given is there, to exit the Indian market and start exporting to European markets. This is a concept that we have discussed in strategic management. We'll come to know about it, which means that geographically expanding the business. Next, second, to become the major manufacturer of JMM and other big foreign brands. This would ensure that they stay relevant in the market, as all the promotional spends would be taken care of by JMM. And the volume they would rope in would actually mean growth of Shanti Prasad and Sons. So the second conclusion says that become the major manufacturer of JMM. They say that the second option, you try to approach JMM and do manufacturing for JMM. That's another option that is there. This will help you to increase your volume also. Then it will help for your business also. This is another strategy that has been suggested. It says that to become the major manufacturer of JMM. Next, third, to sell their designs to the global brands. Selling the designs to the global brands with a patent protection. You are selling your brand to the global brands with patent protection. This would ensure a perpetual flow of revenue and new markets altogether with the global business exposure. So those three sons have approached you as a management and strategic consultant. You provided these three options. The family, after considering your proposals, knowing the intricacies of business and its environment, decided to blend options 2 and 3. So they thought that it will be good if they can go for second and third option, blending it. The success or failure could only be guided in 3 quarters when they sit down for an internal post-implementation review. They have decided to mix up the second and third option and they want to implement it, and for that the result of which can only be seen after the implementation review. After the implementation, when they do the review, then the result can be understood. So depending upon the above case scenario. So we are clear with the case scenario now. The first paragraph talks about a company, second paragraph the problem that the company has faced, the rest of the paragraphs are the strategic options that are provided for the company. So understanding the case study is very important. When you are going through the case study, which of the areas that we can correlate in the subject, that you have to understand. Based on the above scenario, the multiple questions go like this. First one, what can be said about the attitude of the owners with regards to their strategy mindset when they reached out for consultancy? So when they came to the consultancy to you, what is their strategy? Before consultancy, what is their strategy? They are only doing business in India. They are only into one type of business. They are not into plenty of other businesses before coming to consultancy. Like after they came for consultancy, you have provided suggestions that to expand into new markets, to associate with the company, or to associate with the other companies and be manufacturers for them. These are the consultations that you have given. But prior to that, they are doing business in only one area, not in any other areas. Now, what is the content that you have to connect? In our strategic management, when the business operates with one market, dealing with same kind of products and services, that strategy is called as stability strategy. So before coming to you, the company's strategy is stability strategy. So the answer for the first question would be stability oriented, because they have no plans to get into new geographical areas. They have no plans to associate with the other companies and making mergers. That's why it's stability strategy. Let's go with the second question. This is how you should analyze the questions from the case study. If the owners went with the option 2, which of the following components of marketing strategy would be irrelevant for them? Understand the question. Option 2. Check with the option 2 immediately. What option 2 says that became the major manufacturer of JMM, which means that they will be the vendors of JMM. This is the option. And other big foreign brands, they can do manufacturing for the other foreign brands also, so that they can stay in the market and they can increase their volume and they can be in profitability. Under that scenario, when they have chosen the second option, what they are trying to do? With the marketing, what they have to do? Promotion only, not with respect to product and promotion, price and product, promotion only, place only. This is with respect to only promotion. With respect to marketing, they are thinking of promotion. In which way? When they associate with the JMM or other foreign brands, automatically their awareness will be generated in the market. People will come to know this is a cloth manufacturing company that is providing cloths for JMM and other foreign brands. Promotion only. Next, third question. Option 3, if opted, would help in sustainability of which of the following and would ensure? So because of what major characteristics of sustainability? So look at the option 3 now. What is happening in third option? to sell their design to global brands with patent protection, which means that they are selling their products to the global brands, foreign brands, but they are taking the patent protection. Under that case, what will happen? Let's understand. Yeah, question number 3. If third option is adopted, would help in sustainability of which of the following, and would ensure so because of what major characteristics of sustainability? Sustainability will have a characteristics, that is nothing but a sustainability of competitive advantage can be gained, because they don't need to leave the market, they can stay in the market and hence they can generate profitability and they can gain advantage over the competitors also. So the answer would be for this is sustainability of competitive advantage by ensuring durability is the right answer. Further, for Shanti Prasad and Sons, well as JJM, globalization has a key area of consideration. As time change, a new player enters into a market, the existing firms need to be careful about their survival. Obviously, when the new companies comes into the market, existing companies have to fight for their survival. Which of the following statement about globalization is false for JJM? Think in the JJM's perspective. JJM has other countries, a foreign company which came into Indian market. For JJM, what is incorrect? Which of the following statement about globalization is false for JJM? It's a question. The answer would be, it needs the ability to compete in the domestic market with foreign competitor, because that is one of the feature of globalization that we have discussed. So that's the answer says, the ability to compete in the domestic market with the foreign competitors. Which of the following statement would globalization is false for JJM? Because why it is false for JJM? JJM is not competing in the domestic market with a foreign competitor. It's a foreign company which came into the other domestic market, and there they are fighting with the domestic players in that particular market. So it is not applicable. Suppose if the Indian company went into the foreign company and if it is competing with the others, then it's a ability to compete in the domestic market with the foreign competitors. JJM in the domestic market fighting with the foreign competitors, then it would have been true. But here JJM went to other country. It's not that other company comes into the JJM's country and it is showing impact. That's how we have to analyze the question. Next, question number 5. For JMM, which of the following structure would be best suited in case of all major Indian family run businesses start producing design for them, while JMM simply take care of distribution and marketing? This question is with respect to organization structure. What kind of organization structure would be aptly suitable for JJM? Suppose if in case all major Indian run business start producing designs for them, the same like the Indian Shantilal company that we have said, they are designing for JMM. Imagine all the Indian major brands are doing for JMM. So JMM don't need to do for any production. Everything is getting from others, outsourced. Now what organization structure? When the large amount of the work has been given for outsourcing, 80% of the work is given for outsourcing, maintaining subcontracts with the others. This structure is called as network structure. That's why for JMM, network structure is going to be the right structure under that scenario. This is about the case study and the different questions with respect to the case study. Let's move to the next multiple choice question that we have. Nom Nom is a fast food brand and has been facing a lot of competition from American brands and has decided to not to give very aggressive but to just preserve market share. Which of the strategy Nom Nom is following? It's a fast food brand that is facing lot of competition from American brands and has decided not to go very aggressive. They don't want to be very aggressive. Just preserve their market share. Their intention is to preserve their market share. Then This strategy is called as hold. In BCG matrix, we have discussed this 4 strategies: build, hold, harvest and divest. Like hold stands for preserving the market share by considering the long-term impact. By understanding the long-term impact, considering preserving the present market share is hold. So for the second question, hold is the answer. So you have to get this, preserve market share, and you have to connect with the options. Okay, in the options, we are talking about the strategies of BCG. The 4 strategies of BCG, in which strategy it talks about preserving market share. Hold talks about preserving market share. That's how we should analyze. Question number 3. A tea farm owner plans to open a tea cave in tourist spot and to sell their own premium tea to build a brand. Which of the following can this be termed as? Understand the question. He is a tea farmer. He is operating a tea cave. So which means that in the value chain he is moving forward. Which means that he is establishing his own distribution efficiency to sell the tea by establishing tea cave. He is a tea farmer. Now what kind of thing it is called as? Forward integration. In the value chain, if a company moving backward integrates with the input provider. In the value chain, if the company moves forward, they will integrate with the distribution efficiency. So a tea farmer is starting a cave. So it comes into forward integration. When you read the question, yes, you should be in a state to analyze it. From which concept of strategic management the question is being asked and how you can generate answer for that. Question number 4. Airlines providing special lounge access to the loyal customers in a type of which marketing? Straight away you have to go marketing concept. We have discussed some marketing techniques. In that there is a technique called relationship marketing. In your material, when you study, this example is given. British Airways is offering special customer lounge to the loyal customers. This we discuss in relationship marketing, where the company wants to maintain long-term relationship with the customers. So the answer will be relationship marketing. Interconnect with the concept. So very clearly in the question says which type of marketing. Then you have to correlate. We have discussed some marketing strategy techniques. When we have discussed relationship marketing, there we said. The same example is there in the material also. Question number 5. Madhyam, a hearing aid manufacturer, recently introduced an artificial intelligence, AI based management tool that has the capabilities of managing teams across functions. What could be their new organizational structure post this implementation? So what is their business is into? Hearing aid manufacturers. Now what they did? They have introduced an AI based management tool that is helping for the people that has the capacity of managing team across the functions. So what is their new organization structure will be referred to as? So here the answer would be referred to hourglass structure. That's about question number 5. Question number 6. You know about hourglass structure. When they went for artificial intelligence, obviously they are reducing their manpower. Middle level has been reduced. That will happen in hourglass structure. Next question. Halder and Sons have invested in latest technology in terms of latest printing machines from Germany and Israel, but recent advent of internet has posed a big threat to their printing business, as majority of their clients have now turned to more environment friendly options. They are not able to sell off their machines which are now redundant. What conditions they are facing right now? They are not in a state to sell their machinery because they are worn out. So this has happened. This is considered as exit barriers. They are not able to sell their machines. They are not able to come out of the market because they are redundant. outdated. So that machinery will not be purchased by anyone else in the market. So their condition is they are having exit barriers. As they have invested in latest technology in the printing machines. But because of what happened, because of the threat from the big companies, they have turned out to sell this. That is referred to as exit barriers. So these are the MCQs, case study based and rest of the multiple choice questions. Now let's go to the descriptive questions and we will understand. So obviously, the first chapter we have introduction to strategic management. Here what is going to happen? A small case study has given. Let's understand this. ABC Limited currently sells its products in two major markets, Europe and Asia. While it is a market leader in Europe, ABC Limited has struggled to penetrate the more competitive Asian markets. ABC Limited hired a strategic consultant to analyze the situation and submit his report to them. After the report received from the strategic consultant, it has therefore decided to pull out of Asian entirely and focus on its European markets only. This decision relates to each level in ABC Limited. Hence explain the role of manager at this level in the organization. Now here it talks about whose roles? It talks about the roles of the top level management. So that's what it says. Understand the entire case study. Don't bother about the situation. You understand that situation is related to which concept here. There will be a one tagline which will grab your attention to help you out to connect to the concept. In this case study, which talks about explain the role of managers at this level. In the case study, check. It is talking about which level. So we have three strategic levels are there. Corporate level, business level and functional level. So this role is talking about the corporate level. So this answer you are going to write with respect to the corporate level strategies related to markets and industries. So in the first chapter, we have three strategic levels. There we are going to understand elaborate things with respect to the corporate level strategy. So that is about the first case study that we have from the first chapter, which is trying to explain about corporate level strategies. Next, discuss the second question with respect to the first chapter, introduction to strategic management. Discuss the challenges faced by public sector units while designing for their organizations. Public sector units. Nothing but there is a last concept in the first chapter which talks about application of strategic management. In the application of strategic management, we will discuss the applicability of strategic management for different areas, like applicability of SM for non-for-profit organizations, education institutions, medical organizations, even government organizations. So here it says public sector units, nothing but government organizations. So from there you have to pick this concept. You have to write applicability of strategic management while designing strategies for public sector units. So that is a question that we have in our material, where in the application of strategic management concept you will find out this question. That's about that particular question and how you can develop the answer. So you have to write about the challenges that are faced by the public sector. This question intention is to write about the challenges that are faced by the public sector while designing the strategies for their organization. Like the government company, when designing any strategy for their organization, what kind of challenges that they are going to face. So this particular question is trying to give the reference about it. That's about the two questions with respect to introduction to strategic management concept. Next, the second chapter we have dynamics of competitive strategy. From this In this RTP, we have two questions. The first question talks about explain implications of each of the following type of businesses in corporate portfolio. So understand this question here. Implications of each of the following type of businesses in a corporate portfolio, which talks about the portfolio management. And there are three methods by which portfolio management can be done effectively: BCG, GE, ADL, portfolio analysis methods and portfolio management methods. In that, if you look at the options that are given here, stars, question marks, cash cows, dogs, these four things will come into which portfolio management method? BCG. So now you have understood this question is with respect to BCG matrix. Now you have to provide answer for all these four metaphors of BCG matrix. We have this in the material as a straight question. The four metaphors, you have to provide the answer with respect to the four metaphors. What is the position of the company would be in stars, question marks, cash cows and dogs. There is a diagram will be given over there which talks about on one axis we will take relative market share, on the other axis we will take about market growth rate. Depending on that, we will understand these four metaphors. If any company falls under that particular metaphor, what strategic decisions that they have to take. This question you will have as a straight question from our material as BCG matrix. Considered as Boston Consulting Group. Second question is a straight question. In this chapter, the second question very clearly says the role of ADL matrix in assessing competitive position of the firm. So what is ADL matrix is all about? On one axis we will take stages of industry maturity, on the other axis we will take competitive position of the firm. Stages of industry maturity, four stages are there. So we have embryonic, growth, maturity and aging. They are the stages of industry maturity. With respect to competitive position, on the other axis in ADL matrix we will have competitive position. A company has to face, a company will be considering any of the five competitive positions. They can be referred to as like dominant, strong, favorable, tenable, weak, five competitive positions. This particular question talks about the competitive positions of ADL matrix. So how you are going to answer this? Write the five competitive positions: dominant, strong, favorable, tenable and weak. You have to provide the explanation under what conditions a particular company will come into that particular position. When you can say the company is in strong, when you can say the company is weak, favorable, tenable, all these conditions. So it's a moreover straight question to be referred as. But you have to remember the five positions and provide the explanation with respect to those five positions. These are the two questions. One question is straight away from BCG. The second question is with respect to ADL matrix. Furthermore, the third chapter, strategic management process. The first question is a direct question where you have to provide the differences between strategic planning and operational planning. So which is nothing but formation and implementation concept, where very clearly in our material we have been given differences with respect to these two. A very clear matrix has been provided for you in the material in this particular chapter, which differentiates between strategic planning and operational planning, and you have to provide the differences between the both. It's moreover a straight question to be referred as. There are no any technical things are there in this. Next, second question. It's also a straight question. You have to write about objectives and the characteristics of objectives. First, you have to write the definition of objectives. Performance targets with respect to the results and outcomes the company wants to achieve. They act as an yardstick to measure the performance and progress of a company. This is a definition, and furthermore, you will provide the characteristics of the objectives. help to achieve vision and mission, measurable, controllable, realistic, time bound, like this n number of characteristics are there, you have to write all of them. So it's a straight question. So from this chapter, we have two straight questions, strategic planning and operations planning, and the second one talks about objectives and characteristics of the objectives. That's about the third chapter, the two questions. Fourth chapter. In the fourth chapter, corporate level strategies, we have one case study. So let's understand the case study. About the question number 13, which comes in the fourth chapter. Racer Limited manufactured bicycles. Until recently, it has adopted a differentiation strategy. So first of all, talks about the company is first following differentiation strategy. So you know about corporate level strategies: stability, expansion, retrenchment, combination. There are 4 corporate level strategies. In this expansion, we will have a differentiation strategy. Offering high quality bicycles with Racers Limited sells at a high profit margin. In recent years, Racers Limited has entered a period of decline due to the market becoming flooded with cheaper, high quality bicycles from abroad where labor costs are low. All of a sudden, the conditions have changed. So what is happening in recent years? The company is entered into a period of decline. The company is declining. Their profit margins might be reducing. Their market share has been drastically falling down because other companies are offering the quality product at a cheaper price than this company. Racer Limited has therefore decided to adjust its strategy and adopt to focus approach. So from differentiation, they went into focus, which means that now they want to go for the narrow markets. Targeting a bicycle towards professional athletes. When they go for narrow markets, it's not for everyone. So they are developing bicycles only for the athletes. This will allow Racer Limited to continue earning high margins through the size of its potential market will likely fall. But this potential market is also likely falling. Identify and explain need of adopting this strategy by Racer Limited to manage decline. Forget about the entire case study. Very clearly, the last point giving you a tip to find out the concept for this question. The company is in decline. Now you have to provide a suggestions to the Racer Limited company how they could able to turn back from the decline to the normalcy. So in the corporate level strategy, we have one particular strategy that we have discussed in retrenchment. Actually, retrenchment is the strategy. The two types of retrenchments are there, internal and external. So when we discuss an internal strategy, we have a strategy called turnaround. The intention of turnaround is to convert a financially distressed company into its normalcy. That is what happening here. This Racers Limited is into financial depression. They are in losses. Even though they have followed focus, they went into losses. Now what they have to do, they should put their efforts to convert this loss-making unit into a profit-making unit by making some internal changes. Focusing on internal developments, they can do this. So strategy that can be suggested for Racer Limited is turnaround. So you have to write the answer, the entire turnaround strategy. Okay, you don't need to write all the things, but you have to write meaning of turnaround, danger signs of turnaround. The question is not with respect to action plan of turnaround. So it's better you will write about the meaning of turnaround, indicators of turnaround. These answers you can provide. If the question asks what is the action plan that you provide for this strategy, then you have to write a 5-stage action plan for turnaround. That answer you have to write. Here, it's not necessary to go for action plan. It's enough to write about the turnaround strategy and the indicators of turnaround strategy. Next, this is about the first question in corporate level strategies is with respect to turnaround. Let's understand the second question. Diversification endeavors can be categorized into 4 broader classification. State the basic of this classification and name the 4 categories. How is concentric diversification different from vertically integrated diversification? Straight question. From the corporate level strategies, second strategy, expansion. Expansion could be possible by two ways, intensification and diversification. If you observe the question very clearly, the question is talking about so diversification can be categorized into four broader classifications, which means we are talking about expansion through diversification. Now diversification has four broader classifications. What are they? Vertically integrated diversification, horizontal integrated diversification, concentric and conglomerate diversification. In this question, they are expecting you to write about the four types of diversifications. Along with that, you have to create a difference between diversification different from vertical, concentric and vertically integrated diversification. These two diversification differences you have to provide. So first you have to write about the four broader classification of diversifications. Among them, you have to clearly segregate between the concentric and vertically integrated diversification. So this is about the second question. About corporate level strategies, first question is talking about turnaround strategy, and the second one talks about the four types of diversifications. And here for each and every diversification, huge amount of content will come. Now you don't need to mention elaborate exploration. Depending upon the marks it has been asked, the suggestible content you have to provide. So that's how you can design the answer for that. And then you have to differentiate between the two strategies that has been asked for. That's about chapter 4. Next, chapter 5, which talks about business level strategies. For chapter 5, a case study has been given. Let's understand. You know about business level strategies. Three strategies are there at business level: cost leadership, differentiation and focus. Let's see. This case study talks about which strategy. Again, focus is of two types: focus differentiation, focus cost leadership. When you have the picture in your mind, when you study the case study, then when that particular hit term comes, easily you can correlate with respect to what this question is being asked. A business consultancy firm specializes in environment management consultancy. It advises, so this case study is with respect to business consultancy firm. They are specialized in environment management consultancy. It advises client companies on how to set up environmental management accounting system. So they are providing consultancy with respect to environment management accounting system for measuring, recording and analyzing environmental costs. Further, a large part of its business involves performing environmental audits to check whether companies have achieved in international assurance standard in environmental management. This is something that rival consulting firms do not do. So look at this. They are only focusing upon certain areas like for measuring, recording and analyzing environmental costs. This is a specific area that they do. And moreover, they do international assurance standard in environmental management. No other competitor have did this. The firm also carries out other management consultancy project for clients, but these make up only small portion of its total annual fee income. So many other consulting services that they provide, but majorly they are into these narrow kind of services that they are providing. Identify the strategy categories by Michael Porter with best describe the strategy of this firm. Among all the Michael Porter strategies, what strategies have been adopted by the firm? Here we can say differentiation strategy. The three strategies that we have discussed: cost leadership, differentiation and focus. So focused differentiation will be the right strategy for this firm as they are focused upon a particular narrow market. a market which is not targeted by any other company. They are particularly focusing on that narrow market. That's why their strategy would be focused differentiation. For this question, you have to provide the answer with respect to focused differentiation strategy. You know that focused differentiation will talks about when the company identifies a particular narrow market. Let's go with the next question. 5 competitive forces in an industry as identified by Michael Porter's. Straight question. Porter's 5 forces model of competitive analysis. To understand the competitive intensity of the industry, Michael Porter have provided 5 forces. Bargaining power of customers, bargaining power of buyers, threat of substitutes, threat of new entrants, rivalry among the existing companies. These are 5 forces. The question is right. You have to write about the 5 forces model. Again, you have to be a bit careful here. In the material, when you study the Porter's 5 forces model, when you study a concept called threat of new entrants, in order to restrict the new companies to enter into the market, entry barriers are there. So many entry barriers will be discussed. Here, if the question comes like this, you check with for how many marks this question has been asked for and accordingly provide the content. So it's very important in the examination when this kind of question comes where you have to provide huge amount of content to write, then you have to be smart enough to judge for how many marks that particular question has been asked and how much content you have to produce. That's about functional level strategies, business level strategies, 2 questions. One talks about focused differentiation, the other question talks about Porter's 5 forces model. Let's go with the next chapter and I'll understand the 2 questions given from this chapter. Functional level strategies. So you know that this particular chapter deals with diversified functional areas and the strategies that are prepared over there. Look at the first question. You are the human resource manager of a company. What are the prominent areas where you play a strategic role? So this particular question talks about strategic roles of human resource manager. That is this question. So this we have a question in our material. Roles of a strategic human resource manager or human resource manager strategic roles. So we will be discussing different kinds of roles, providing purposeful direction, ensuring change, managing workforce diversity, empowerment of human resources, managing culture ethics. Like these different roles are there. You have to write all those roles here. Question is direct. Roles of human resource manager in the organization. So you have to write all the roles. Second question. With respect to functional level strategies, you are a manager of a firm and you have to raise funds for a business project. From which source you can raise funds for your company? Not a direct question, but you can directly understand this. This particular question is with respect to finance strategy formation. We have a question for this in our material. So in a finance strategy, probably you will be having this as a second question also in a finance strategy formation. Where the question will be asked, in order to implement a new project, you require additional funds. As a strategic manager, how you are going to get an additional funds? You will have this question in the material. This is that particular question. How you are going to raise funds for a business project. A new project is going to be implemented by the company. Then how you are going to raise funds for your new business project. And what are the different sources from which you will raise funds. That's about the 2 functional level strategies that we have. Okay, that's about the functional level strategies. The first one is roles of HRM. The second one talks about the finance strategy. Let's check with the next chapter. The 7th chapter, 2 questions. The chapter is with respect to organization and strategic leadership. Question number 1. How the strategic business unit structure becomes imperative in an organization with increases in number, size and diversity of divisions. Question is so direct. This question is with respect to different types of organization structures. In that, this question particularly talks about SBU structure. So you have to recollect all the different types of structures that we have discussed in this chapter. Functional, divisional, SBU, matrix, network, hourglass structure. So in that, you have to write about SBU structure and the 3 levels that we have in the SBU structure. Who will come at those levels? So you have to provide explanation with respect to SBU structure. And what happens with respect to the SBU structure? This also we have a separate question in our material with respect to the SBU structure, advantages and disadvantages that the company is going to have by maintaining a strategic business unit structure. Next. The second question is also with respect to organization structures, which talks about a network structure is suited to unstable environment. Elucidate this statement. So here, this particular question is talking about the network structure. Actually, network structure is a somewhat newer and more radical organization structure. Then you have to write about the entire network structure. Even this is suitable for unstable environment because the large amount of the work is given for outsourcing in the network structure. Nothing has been done internally. Suppose if the environment is so unstable, yes, it is definitely suggestible for the organizations to adopt to a network structure. That's about the second question that we have in this, which talks about the network structure. So SBU and network structure. These two questions are coming from the organization structures itself, which we discuss as one of the concept in this particular chapter. Let's go with the next chapter that we have, 8th chapter, which talks about strategic implementation and control. Let's have a look at here. First, we have a case study here. Let's understand the case study. Glassware Limited is about to go through a significant restructuring. The strategic change involves moving from decentralized to a centralized structure. This will help Glassware avoid duplication of support activities and lower of cost. The management have held first staff briefing in which they went to great length to explain that the change was necessary to equip the company to face future competitive challenges. Identify and explain the current stage of Glassware Limited from the Lewin's 3-stage model of change. First, by looking at the case study that you have to understand, this is with respect to change management. This case study is with respect to change management. And already a key term has already given over there in change management. What is particularly has been asked. The particular question talks about the Kurt Lewin change process. In this chapter, we have a question with respect to Kurt Lewin change process. So Kurt Lewin have stated a 3-step change management process: unfreezing, change to new situation, refreezing. That is what the concept is all about. So you have to straight away write the Kurt Lewin change process, what Glassware have to do, unfreezing the situation, and then Glassware have to change to new situation. Then finally they have to bring back the new strategies as per Kurt Lewin, which talks about refreezing. So the question is direct with respect to Kurt Lewin change management process. Next question. Explain various categories in which generic business process of the firm requires redesigning. So how we can understand this particular question? This particular question talks about redesigning, which is nothing but BPR, business process re-engineering. The last chapter we have last two concepts, which talks about BPR and benchmarking. So this question is with respect to process re-engineering. Explain the various categories in which generic business processes of the firm requires re-engineering? So this question which talks about business process re-engineering. This is also, when you study the entire BPR concept, this particular concept we have as a question, how the generic processes of the firm requires re-engineering. So the last question of the last chapter talks about process re-engineering. So this is about all the questions that we have in this RTP of 2022. So case study scenarios. So we have understood how a case study scenario can be analyzed, and we have come to know from different chapters what are the concepts that have been focused upon. Yes, a systematic preparation will definitely help you out to provide good answers for this particular questions. Hope these small insights have helped you out to understand the perfect analysis of the RTP with respect to 2022. So with this, I'll stop here for the session. This RTP is with respect to 2022. So hope this is going to be helpful for you to understand and prepare well for your examinations. I wish you all luck. Thank you very much.